Hello, NoDQ Galaxy. You're here with the Ladies of NoDQ, and we're going to be predicting Survivor Series for you. I'm Caitlin, and we have Aaron and Cindy. And I think we're just going to jump right into it tonight. So unless somebody has some comments they want to make about the show in general, a lot of crazy stuff went down this week. So we got a lot of changes to the card last second. Do either of you have any general statements or thoughts?
I just feel like the predictions here are kind of like a crapshoot with all the changes so late. It's just like, I don't know what they're going to go with.
Well, I do say that since this is going to be my first ever Survivor Series, I'm actually going to be attending in LA, and my first pay-per-view live in person.
Yay!
Even I wish you guys would come. I mean, we could all like have fun, slumber party and all that stuff, but you guys are going to be there in spirit.
That's right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I thought at first the build-up has been a lackluster, but then with like unexpected changes, like with the whole Becky Lynch situation, that like they have to change like certain matches, that I'm actually kind of optimistic about it. And that's, if I could rate like on a scale of 1 to 10 how excited I am, I'm gonna have to give it a generous 7.5 out of 10. Not because I'm gonna be there in person along with Aaron Riv, Jeff Meacham, and Interstate Kyle, but it's just I'm very curious how they're gonna play out with each of the matches. But I'm going to have a great time no matter what with you guys. And especially for the NoDQ meetup, make sure to go to nodq.com/LA. That's going to take you directly to the event page for the NoDQ 20th anniversary meetup.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to start with the pre-show match, which is the tag team Survivor Series match. So on the Raw side, we have Rude and Gable, Revival, the B Team, Lucha House Party, and the Ascension. On the SmackDown side, we have the Usos, the New Day, Sanity, the Colognes, and Gallows and Anderson. Both those teams kind of popped up out of nowhere. So, Aaron, what are your thoughts on this match, and who is going to win?
Oh, God. It's kind of like, I don't even know why they're having this. We don't see any tag teams except a select few. So it's kind of like, oh, that's the first time I've seen you in 3 months.
Right.
I think I picked SmackDown to win. The most well-known tag teams are going to be on the SmackDown side. I don't see them losing. And plus, you just had Braun Strowman completely bury the entire Raw tag team on Raw this last Monday. So I don't know, to me that just means they don't care about their tag team, and you got New Day and Usos, so SmackDown's gonna win for me.
All right, let's flip it over to Cindy. What are your thoughts?
Well, let me go ahead and take a long because this is how I'm gonna feel when I'm watching this kickoff pre-show in person.
At least you get it over with quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna be too busy like looking through my phone or like taking a couple pictures. But it's okay. I mean, I'm very curious to see how they're gonna play out. I'm very surprised that the Lucha House Party is gonna be representing Raw, despite the fact that they're part of 205 Live. And then you had is the B Team resurfaced ever since they lost the title to Dolph and Drew. And then out of nowhere, you have is the Revival, who are the complete jobbers. And then the only notable tag team right now is Rude and Gable, which I'm looking forward to lip-sync Bobby Roode's entrance, but not so much about Chad Gable bombarding Roode's entrance. And regarding with SmackDown, I mean, I'm very high on that particular tag team division. Despite that, with WWE, the tag team division itself is very lackluster. I just wish there's going to be more of like a build for each brand, but I'm very happy that it's now part of the kickoff pre-show instead of the usual Cruiserweight title match like we normally have, except for the Super Showdown, of course. For my pick, it's obviously going to be Team SmackDown for the win, because you have is like a very high, incredible tag team division of SmackDown. You have is the heavy juggernauts like the Sanity, also the Club / Good Brothers, and then you have is the New Day and the Usos, and surprisingly enough, the Colognes are back ever since, I believe, would be Epico returned from his injury. So I'm very skeptical how they're going to play out. And hopefully there's probably going to be some people coming in just to watch this kickoff pre-show, despite that, it's just going to be another I don't care match.
Well, I agree with both of you. I'm going to go with the SmackDown team. As Aaron said, the Raw team was decimated by Strowman. So, and also the teams on that side just seem weaker in general.
Together.
Yeah.
Do you think they literally just called up Lucha House Party so they had another team to fill?
Maybe, but they have been on they were on the week before too, right? Like I think they were on Raw for 2 weeks, maybe.
Like that's not
pretty much.
So that could be. Also, too, I feel like, WWE leans towards Raw, so they'll be like, oh, it's the pre-show, so we can give SmackDown this one. So that might be the case. But either way, the SmackDown tag team division is much more developed, so I'm going with them as well. And with that, we're going to move on to the Cruiserweight match. We have Buddy Murphy, who is the champion currently, versus Mustafa Ali. And Cindy, you're going to go first on this one. So what are your thoughts and who is going to win this match?
Well, I guess I'm the only one out of the NoDQ personality is watching 205 Live. I mean, I've been monitoring with 205 Live ever since Buddy Murphy won that title at Super Showdown against Cedric Alexander. And to me, I just want to say this. They're trying their best to improve the audiences just to get engaged to watching 205 Live. I mean, you have the Lucha House Party, of course. They're actually currently in a feud with TJP, who is now teaming with the debut of Mike and Maria Kanellis as like the whole Max Collector that's on TJP's end. And then you have is Mustafa Ali, who's the heart of 205 Live, who won the 5-man gauntlet for the number 1 contendership against Drew Gulak, TJP, Tony Nese, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. And I believe Cedric Alexander. Wait, I counted 6. Either one of either Jack or Drew. I don't care, but yeah. And so far, and we thought that there's gonna be like a storyline with Mustafa and Cedric as Cedric's heel turn. But if you saw the aftermath of the match between Mustafa Ali versus Tony Nese, Cedric came out. He thought he was gonna attack Mustafa, but he just hugging out. Now he's moving on to the storyline with Lio Rush. Now with Buddy Murphy as a champion, he's doing quite well, despite that he didn't have any of the matches except for one, which is last week's show against Mark Andrews, and that is about it. So to me, I just hope that there's probably going to be a little bit of more opportunity for some of the other talents. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do respect Mustafa Ali, but I just feel it just needs to be somebody else that's deserving. So for who's going home as a champion, I could see Buddy Murphy to retain a title. And there has been a bit of a teaser in 205 Live that it's probably going to be Tony Nese is going to be the next contender. He is aligned with Buddy, but you can see there's a teaser that he's probably going to turn against Murphy and then be the one that's going to chase for the title next.
Okay. Yeah. Well, as you said, I haven't been watching or keeping up, but when I did watch, I loved Mustafa Ali. He was my favorite. And, I think he does deserve it. He's been there since 205 started, I do believe, and been working this whole time, and he's really talented. But Buddy Murphy hasn't had the title that long yet. I think, a month and a half or something?
Yep.
So your dog agrees.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm going to go with Buddy Murphy to retain. I don't think they're going to have him lose it yet. And Aaron, what is your thought?
Yeah, basically I'm going to echo you, Caitlin. I don't really watch 205 Live too much either. I think it should be an exciting match. Mustafa Ali has always been one of my favorites too, even from seeing him, in his little 3-minute matches on Raw. But I think Buddy Murphy's going to retain. He just got the title at Super Showdown. I don't think they're going to take it off. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, we will move on to the match between AOP and the Bar, the champion versus champions match. And I'm going to start this one out. I think they're going to go with AOP. I think they've sort of had a little bit of momentum going. So, I mean, they're kind of maybe the only team on Raw that has anything. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. So, or at least they're the only relevant team on Raw, in my opinion. And I don't think the bar, like, I don't think a loss is going to hurt them in any way. So I'm going to go with the Raw side on this one. I'm not super excited about this match. Wasn't too much build going in. Erin, what do you think?
I disagree.
All right.
I just think WWE has been burying AOP basically since they came up, and it took them to have to fight Rollins by himself without a tag team partner to win the titles.
Right. Well, yeah, so there was that. But I guess in my mind, I'm like, they're visible, and some of the other teams are not visible.
That means something if you're visible. We've seen you. I think this match is going to come down to the extra person in each match. You got the Big Show and you got Drake Maverick. I think between the two of those, you got to go Big Show there. I mean, you put them together, Drake Maverick's not going to be able to take out Big Show.
Oh, no.
So that's why I picked the bar.
All right. Cindy?
Well, to quote Aaron Riff, I do not care about this match. I have little to no interest whatsoever. I mean, there was no storyline buildup for both ends, except you have his AOP recently won the Raw Tag Team titles against just the lone Seth Rollins and Dean her turn heel. And then you have the Bar, who just won the SmackDown Tag Team title against the New Day prior to, I think, Crown Jewel, with the help of Big Show. But either way, we can see there's going to be some interference between both teams. And I'm going to have to agree with you, Aaron. I'm going to have to go with the Bar to win with Big Show. Kind of, play the part of the match. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do respect AOP, and everybody else is picking AOP to be the one that's going to win the match because, quite frankly, they don't have like a pretty good run since they debuted on Raw, despite they're the tag team champion, but who knows? I'd rather have the Bar to win, and then you have his Big Show. I mean, I don't know how many times Big Show turned heel, turned face. It's kind of like mind-boggling. I mean, he has more heel turn than Nia Jax, for crying out loud. But that's going to be for my flat-out pick.
All right. So we're going to move on to the Intercontinental versus U.S. Champion versus Champion match. So we have Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And Aaron, you're starting this one.
I know, if you told me this, but I was starting here. This match has been... The build's so disappointing. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime match right now. It's never been seen. They've never fought each other anywhere else. And, I feel like we should all be so excited about it, and I'm not. Rollins basically said on Raw that he doesn't care about this match. Then he tweeted today about how he basically doesn't care about this match. Why should any of us care about this match? Just based on the fact that he doesn't care, I think Nakamura is going to beat him. So I pick Nakamura to win. I think we might see some Ambrose interference here. It's been kind of quiet. Well, just doing his own Dean thing. But I think he might actually come out here and, cost Seth the win. So I think Nakamura is going to win.
All right. Cindy?
Back then, before Shinsuke and Seth signed to WWE, it was one dream match indie show, Tyler Black versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Fast forward to now in WWE. Indie fans do care about it, but to Seth Rollins, he doesn't care at all. And I feel that with this build-up, it's kind of been overshadowed with everything that's going on with WWE lately. Like, you have Seth Rollins kind of, his storylines being overshadowed, like the whole Roman Reigns situation, then Dean Ambrose heel turn, and him losing the Raw Tag Team title, but he is still your Intercontinental Champion. And then you have Shinsuke Nakamura, who's kind of like being overshadowed with the feud against Jeff Hardy, for crying out loud. And yeah, and then other rivalry on SmackDown that I lost interest in. So for this match, in my perspective, it will be kind of like one of the, I would say match of the night perspective. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to how it will play out in person.
I think it'll be a good match. I just don't. I mean, Rollins always gives good matches. It's going to be a good match. There just was nothing to get you really excited about it, which there should have been.
Exactly. If it's what couple years ago, I would like to see Shinsuke versus Seth Rollins at New Japan when Seth is as Tyler Black. But now it's like, well, we'll see how it is. So for my pick, I'm actually going to go with Seth Rollins for the win. And if there's going to be any interference with Dean Ambrose, it probably is, but I don't see it's going to happen. And I'm thinking Shinsuke is probably going to give Seth the low blow like he always do, too. But, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to disagree with you, Cindy. I think that if they have Nakamura be any more irrelevant, this is going to be a huge problem. So I feel like he has to have the win here. Not only that, but my picks are going to be kind of Raw heavy, I think. So, like, SmackDown needs a point here. So, seriously, he needs this win. Rollins already has all this. Well, I wouldn't say all this, but he has this buildup of not caring. He's more interested in Dean Ambrose and what's going on there. Ambrose could interfere. We don't really know on that, but I'm going to go with Nakamura. And that was all of us, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we are going to move into the championship matches. Well, not for the championship, but we're going to start with the ladies. So we're going to do Ronda versus Charlotte. We had a last-second change here in the card because Becky was punched in the face. We'll just leave it at that. So let's go ahead and start with Cindy. What do you think about this match and who's going to win?
Well, I was very bummed out that Becky had to be pulled from the Survivor Series match. I mean, this is going to be the second time I'm not going to be seeing Becky Lynch because back in 2016, I went to my first ever SmackDown live show. It was the after No Mercy pay-per-view, which it was at the time a brand split pay-per-view. So I was on SmackDown. And I was very disappointed that Becky Lynch was pulled out of the match due to an undisclosed medical condition. So I was pretty bummed. And I was hoping that Ronda versus Becky's match going to happen. Like, I was super looking forward to it. And now it's canceled, and I was, like, pretty bummed out. But regardless, I'm still going to have a great time to my first ever Survivor Series show. And now that Becky handpicked Charlotte to be the one that's going to compete against Ronda, it just gives a lot of, like, what it's going to happen afterwards. So I'm actually really looking forward to how it's going to affect. You have Ronda as the baddest a woman on the planet, and then you have Charlotte Flair, the queen, third generation wrestler, and I'm actually kind of like optimistic like how it's gonna play out. And with Charlotte cutting the promo on WWE.com exclusive, you could tell that she is ready for a fight. And if you saw the promo from Ronda on Monday Night Raw, that she did take a jab a little bit about Charlotte Flair, despite that she was mostly talking about Becky Lynch. So there's going to be a lot of animosity going on with Charlotte, especially she is the representation of the WWE 4 Horsewomen. So for my pick of this match, I'm still going to stand behind her. And my pick is going to be Ronda Rousey for the win. And I'm just going to put my crazy theory in the trunk for now because I would like to see what is going to happen afterwards. Like if there's going to be like the MMA 4 Horsewomen play out for next versus the WWE 4 Horsewomen next year, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. But this is gonna be one hell of a match that I'm very looking forward to, and a lot of pictures to take.
I'm gonna go with Ronda for this as well. I think it's sort of a blessing in disguise what has happened because Becky is. It's going to be such a big match, and I think they would have had to have her lose here. And so I think Charlotte can kind of step in and take the fall, essentially, at this point. So, and then save Becky for something bigger later when maybe she can take Ronda down. Well, Aaron's saying WrestleMania. I still kind of have in my head the whole, like, brand split and, like, if that would work or not. But by then it could be way different.
If she loses the title, if she has to abdicate or if she has to give it up,
yeah.
she could be in the Rumble.
Yeah, that's true too. Oh yeah, and then maybe they choose which side and all that. So yeah. So yeah, that would be my pick is Ronda. Erin, what is your thought?
I also picked Ronda. I hated Ronda's promo last night. Like, what was the millennial man? Like, what is that? That was so stupid. Like, you're a millennial. Like, what are you talking about? I don't know who wrote that, but that was a terrible promo. I think it'll be a good match. I think this is really the first time that Ronda's going to be tested. Like, she's been in the ring with Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss, and neither of those two are even close to the same level of Charlotte Flair. But I still think Ronda's going to win.
All right.
Ronda.
Well, with that, we will move on to the men. We have another shakeup and change. Daniel Bryan has turned heel and taken the championship, so he will be booting AJ Styles from the pay-per-view. Well, we don't know that. He might show up in some capacity, but as of now, he's been booted. And the gentlemen of NoDQ would like us to predict how many suplexes Daniel Bryan is going to take as part of like a tiebreaker question. So put that into your answers. I will go ahead and start this one. And it's difficult because it was like so last second. They changed the game on us. I really liked the heel turn in the sense that I was shocked and it wasn't spoiled ahead of time. Probably because they made a last second decision. But even still, it was cool to be surprised in that capacity. I think that they need to leave Lesnar, like, keep him winning so that they can maybe finally have, like, a newer guy come in and take him down. So I think that they're going to go with Lesnar winning. And I actually didn't decide the number of suplexes. I'm going to do that right now on the fly. 4. All right. And so next, Erin.
I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to pick Daniel Bryan to win. I think, it took them, 2 hours to decide Daniel Bryan's going to be a heel. Why not now have Daniel Bryan win? It's heel versus heel, so that means Daniel doesn't have to live by his morals anymore. So who's to say he's not going to do a low blow on Lesnar? Yep. We don't know that. It's a lot easier to beat Lesnar if you don't mind cheating to win. I also think it would make sense to have Bryan win because then it makes Lesnar look weaker. And it makes sense then for somebody to take the belt off of him if he looks weaker. Much easier. It's much more believable for Strowman or like a Drew McIntyre to beat him if he's had a loss. So I think, they just did the heel turn. Let's just keep going. Let's have Daniel Bryan win. So I'm going to pick Daniel. And I'm going to say he takes 6 suplexes.
All right. Cindy.
Well, I mean, I'm actually pretty quite looking forward to this match. As what Aaron Riff said on the NoDQ live chat on Tuesday, saying that this is back in 2014, it was supposed to be a SummerSlam match between Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. But what happened is Daniel Bryan got injured. To fill in for his body have is John Cena taking in against Brock Lesnar. And, of course, he won. But, yeah. Now, this is the match that I'm personally very interesting enough for the fact that both guys are going to be heel. And since I'll be at the Staples Center, I could hear everybody's going to cheer for Daniel Bryan and boo the hell out of Brock Lesnar. Because in past Monday Night Raw, everybody's booing the crap out of Brock Lesnar ever since he won the Universal title at Crown Jewel, which to me, I was like, this is crap. Like, I feel like the Universal title is already in this low relevancy. And I don't remember if I ever seen a Universal title because I couldn't care less. But I'm very skeptical to see how this match is going to play out. And especially for Daniel Bryan's sake, since now he's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion or whatever you call it. I call it the WWE Champion. And this is going to be one of pretty much a match that we're all looking forward to, especially he's been cleared to wrestle back in March. I'm going to have to go with my pick, and it's because all fan favorite aside, and it's a really hard decision to make. I'm going to have to agree with you, Aaron. I'm going to choose Daniel Bryan to be the one that's going to beat Brock Lesnar because, number one, nobody likes Brock Lesnar. And number two, it's the fact that Daniel Bryan's going to be the one that everybody's going to be behind him, cheering and all that stuff. And will there be an interference from AJ Styles? Probably not. Yeah.
All right. And with that, we are on to the Survivor Series
and how many suplexes? I forgot. For suplexes wise, I forgot to mention, I'm going to have to go with 5 suplexes.
4, 5, 6.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we're going to start with the women's Survivor Series match. And on this, the guys would also like us to pick who the 5th SmackDown person is, since we do not know yet. Okay, so on the Raw side, we have Mickie James, Nia Jax, Tamina, Ruby Riott, and Natalya versus the SmackDown ladies of Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and we don't know. And with that, Erin, what's going to happen in this?
I don't know. I think that they are going to add Mandy Rose to the team because, she already came out and was talking about, well, why am I not on the team? And then I think Naomi is going to end up being captain if they end up making a captain. I think that Raw is going to end up winning this. Normally, since it was Raw under siege by SmackDown, and SmackDown clearly got the upper hand in that battle, that normally means that the opposite is going to happen at the pay-per-view. So I think Raw is going to end up winning. I don't think the SmackDown Live women are going to be able to take out both Nia Jax and Tamina. I just don't see that happening. So I am going to go with Raw.
All right. Cindy?
Okay, first off, who's going to be the mystery person to join the SmackDown women's team? Well, she debuted last week, and it would make sense that she should be the one that's going to be part of Team SmackDown. So for the mystery person, is definitely going to be Nikki Cross because Sanity is going to be in the kickoff pre-show. So why not add another member of Sanity to be representing for Team SmackDown in the women's division? So this is going to be Nikki Cross' first main roster pay-per-view debut. This is going to be it. So her. Overall, the only thing I'm looking forward to is how everybody's going to boo at Nia Jax, or should I say Nia Show. Even though I know ever since she brutally punched Becky during the whole understage on Monday Night Raw. And if you guys saw on Twitter, she has just a bruised cut. That's nothing major. But
how hard did she hit her?
Yeah, exactly.
Bruised. Why are you swinging like that?
Exactly. And I like Becky's response because that's going to be oh my God. I was like, oh,
and then she went after Ronda.
My water tea.
He's keeping the feuds going.
I know.
What concussion?
Yeah. Overall, I just feel this match is going to be kind of like an animosity because of what happened with Becky Lynch, and especially Team SmackDown is right behind her. They're going to take the whole Team Raw down, but it is a hard pick to choose. But then looking back at the past 2 pay-per-views since the brand split in 2016, that the Raw women's team won twice, from 2016 and 2017. I'm going to have to go throw a curveball here because I'm counting by the numbers. Despite that, you have is one side, you have is Natalya as the only babyface, and the rest of them is heel. And then you have is SmackDown. If you add Nikki Cross, then you'll have everybody is a babyface except for Sonya Deville. She's the only heel on that team. And I'm going to have to agree with you, Erin, that Naomi's going to be the team captain for Team SmackDown. But for my pick, I'm going to go stand behind the blue team, and I'm going to go with SmackDown for the win.
All right. Well, I have a lot to say about this match, actually.
Really?
Because I have some fantasy booking that's not going to happen, but I'm going to go there anyway.
I know what it is.
How can we get Nikki Bella on this pay-per-view?
Oh,
Well, okay, so actually, Aaron Rift chose Nikki Bella as his mystery person for SmackDown, but I can't go with him on this. I'm picking.
I picked it for you.
I know, and I was gonna go with it as well, but I'm gonna go Nikki Cross. I think they're gonna use her. I think Mandy Rose is just too boring of a pick.
I agree, but I'd rather it be Nikki Cross.
However, though, I just thought it was really bizarre how on Raw they were like, "Oh, we sent Natty home because she couldn't handle it and all this stuff."
I know where you're going with this.
Yes, and if you'll recall, 2 years ago at Survivor Series, Natalya attacked Nikki Bella and took her out of the show, and so Nikki can attack Natty and make an all-heel team for Raw.
Return the favor.
I would like that to happen. I don't think it's going to, but that would be really cool. But all of that stuff aside, I think Raw is going to win because I think you just have too many dominant heels over there. And unfortunately, I just don't see the SmackDown ladies taking them all down. So I'm going to go with the Raw women. I also feel like WWE is sort of trying to protect Nia Jax. So I think that they're
be out early.
I don't know. I feel like I
kind of feel like before all that happened, I would thought for sure she'd go to the end, but I think the crowd's going to be pretty ruthless with her. And I think they might have to get her out early just to protect her.
Yeah, especially like how everybody in LA are going to be like booing the hell out of Nia, and well, I'm probably going to record some of the reactions like when Nia comes out just to see it like that. It is going to be ruthless.
It's probably going to be like, you can't wrestle chants. I wonder if they're going to start chanting Becky at her. That'd be pretty.
Exactly. You can't or Nia's show or anything. I just hope they're not going to chant the a-hole chant, because that's kind of like
it might.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was in Chicago or something, I'd say for sure.
Well, especially because they had Nia go on social media and kind of like make a joke out of it. So I mean, they might.
I thought that was kind of poor taste.
It is. Yeah. It's just a freaking cut and a little bit of bruise. That's it.
Yeah.
Like.
All right, ladies. Let's close this out.
See, Becky's the main event. That's the problem.
We have the Raw men, which is Ziggler, McIntyre, Strowman, Balor, and Lashley, versus the SmackDown men, which have changed to The Miz, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Shane McMahon, and Rey Mysterio. And also at the end of your discussion on this one, you can pick what is the main event of the night going to be, because the guys also want us to talk about that. And Cindy, we're going to start with you. What are your thoughts?
Oh, man. First of all, who's going to be in the main event? I'm honestly going to say I'm hoping Ronda versus Charlotte should close out the show. Because even though it was heavily rumored to be the main event for WrestleMania, I think this is going to be the main event for Survivor Series. And I think this is going to be the first ever women's match in Survivor Series history. Comment down below, you guys, if I'm right or wrong. But anyway, now with the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, I don't care at all, to be quite honest. I mean, it's kind of like handpicked out of random. You have is like this whole like situation with Braun Strowman and also with Baron Corbin involved, that ever since what happened at Crown Jewel, Braun is kind of like out in like the whole renegade. And then it's kind of like this whole random is going on. Like, I'm kind of a little bit tired of this whole like sibling feud whatsoever between Shane and Stephanie, despite the fact that we haven't seen Shane McMahon appearing on the last episode of SmackDown Live because of the whole situation with Becky Lynch. I think because with WWE, they're trying to protect Shane because he is quote unquote best in the world ever since winning that tournament at Crown Jewels that I completely like forgot about a week later. it'll be pretty interesting. And then you have The Miz as the team captain for Team SmackDown, which I'm very intrigued by it. And since now that Daniel Bryan's a heel, a possible tag team may be involved between Daniel and The Miz, but wishful thinking. I'm very happy to see Rey Mysterio being part of Team SmackDown, and so is Samoa Joe. Jeff Hardy, I'm looking forward to it as well. But then for Team Raw, the only thing that's going to get me not too excited for is Leo Rush being the hype man for Team SmackDown, especially with his voice. Lashley. God.
I hope he's
especially because you're going to be there with Aaron and he's going to be all into it.
I know, and I'm going to make sure to record it and send it to you, Caitlin. This is like a very hard pick to choose. I mean, last year, Team Raw won. The year before that, Team SmackDown won. I'm gonna have to go with Team SmackDown for the win because there may be gonna be some interference going on, especially with this whole animosity with Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and also Baron Corbin as the team captain of Raw for that. And then you have this Finn Balor in the mix, which is like complete randomness going on. So I'm going to have to stick with Team Blue all the way.
Really?
Yes.
For a second there, I thought you chose Raw, and then you were like, Team Blue.
Yeah.
I was mishearing what was happening.
It's all good. Like I said, SmackDown Live, that better take it for the win, especially you have this, of course, Shane McMahon being the best in the world.
So I'm going to actually go with the Raw side, even though I feel like the SmackDown side is more dynamic, minus Shane McMahon. It's just, I don't know. I think with Strowman and McIntyre in there, though, on the Raw side, I feel like they're going to take it. Also, too, you just broke down that it's been 1 year Raw, 1 year SmackDown. WWE likes to push Raw, so they're going to get this one, I think. They both have pretty good lineups, though, I think, for the people in it. So it should be pretty good. Main event, I think they're going to give to Lesnar and Daniel Bryan. And Aaron,
wouldn't that
what
be
are your
a
thoughts
for AJ if that ends up being main event?
It would, and I think they're going to do it.
It'd be like a big middle finger to AJ.
Yep.
I also think Raw is going to win. I agree with Caitlin. I just think Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman are going to be too much. I also don't really think that SmackDown necessarily put their best people in. I don't really understand why they just didn't trade, like just give AJ Styles like Daniel Bryan's place. Like they're a much better team with AJ Styles than like Shane McMahon, like, or Shane should take a seat and let AJ be in there. I think, maybe if AJ was in there or even like Randy Orton, I think they would have a better chance of winning than with Shane
Well,
McMahon.
SmackDown has like depth in their talent though. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I feel like the people on it are good. Yeah.
But I just feel like Shane McMahon's like the big like other kind of thing.
Right.
Gotta get that McMahon in the show, right?
Yep.
I think like the last couple of years there's been like the teammates turning on each other, so I don't think that's going to happen this year just because it seems to always happen, so maybe they'll actually give us a year where it doesn't happen. But I just think, I agree with Caitlin. Strowman and McIntyre are going to be too much, and they're not going to be able to handle both of them. So I picked Team Raw, and I actually think this men's elimination will end up being the main event.
All right. Well, folks, with that, if nobody has any final thoughts on Survivor Series in general, we can start wrapping up with the plugs and everything. NoDQ.com, NoDQ YouTube channel. Check those things out. There's going to be a Pro Wrestling Tee Black Friday sale coming up. All the people have their shirts, and the ladies should be getting one soon. So look out for that. Cindy, would you like to plug anything for yourself?
All right. So you guys can follow me at nodq.com/Cindy. That's going to take you directly to my Twitter page. And yes, I am definitely going to be live tweeting for NXT TakeOver, War Games 2, and Survivor Series, y'all. And also make sure to follow me at simply_C_OK on Instagram because I'm going to be posting a lot of Instagram stories of me in LA and on my YouTube channel as well. And also, if you guys are indie wrestling fan, I'm definitely going to be going to Game Changer Wrestling presents Joey Janela LA Confidential, as well as the after show GCW versus Suburban Fight Pro. Just come say hi to me and all that. So yeah, and also do not forget, go to nodq.com/LA. That's going to take you directly to the nodq.com 20th anniversary meetup. I will be there. So is Aaron Riff, Jeff Meacham, and Interstate Kyle. So we can all like sip up our drink, eat burgers, talk about wrestling and life as well. And who knows, you guys, myself, Aaron, Jeff, and Kyle, we're possibly going to be doing a No DQ live review for TakeOver as well as Survivor Series. So stay tuned for more information, y'all.
All right. Anything you want to say, Aaron?
I don't think so. I'm excited for Survivor Series. Really excited for TakeOver. Can't wait.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. And on that note, we are the Ladies of NoDQ, and we are out.
Excelsior.